Ethan Mark sat frozen in the dim glow of countless screens, his eyes darting nervously between flickering images of distant deserts and mountainous villages. The warning light blinked relentlessly, a merciless reminder of the life-or-death decisions resting on his trembling hands. Thousands of miles away from any battlefront, Ethan was entrenched in a solitary war, one fought not with bullets or bombs in a dusty trench, but through cold, digital commands controlling lethal drones. He felt the crushing weight of a reality most would never understand, war fought in silence, yet deafening in its psychological toll. The year was 2015, in an unremarkable control center buried beneath layers of concrete in Nevada. Outside, the sun scorched the earth, but inside, the air was stale and heavy, the faint hum of servers and whirring fans the only sounds amidst the eerie silence. Ethan had been a sharp, ambitious young man who believed in his mission to keep soldiers off the front lines. The sterile smell of recycled air mixed with the faint scent of stale coffee surrounded him. Thousands of miles away, in the harsh lands of Afghanistan and Iraq, lives were shattered by his hands, yet the blood never touched his fingers. It was supposed to be a precision operation, a clean strike to neutralize threats invisible to ground forces. But then the image on his main monitor shifted, a crowd gathering near the target location, innocent civilians unknowingly moving into the line of fire. His finger hovered over the launch button. A warning flashed, potential collateral damage. Every second stretched into eternity as Ethan wrestled with the impossible, the cold calculus of war from a sterile room illuminated only by screens. The call came through his earpiece. Target confirmed, authorization to engage. The voice was calm, unyielding, the gravity of that single moment unbearable. Ethan's lips pressed tightly together as he remembered the faces that haunted his dreams later, children playing in a dusty alley, a woman clutching a baby. The room's silence deepened, pressing in on him. Those lives were strangers, pixels on a screen, yet in that moment that abstraction broke. Fear, guilt, and dread engulfed him. A sudden alert. A malfunction in the drone's guidance system. The coordinates faltered, a deviation of meters that could mean a world of difference. Ethan's heart pounded as he scrambled to recalibrate controls. Minutes felt like hours, sweat pooling on his brow. The circle of fire on the screen threatened to morph into an inferno of unintended destruction. The impossibility of control surfaced with brutal clarity, the fragility of a digital life tethered to human error and mechanical failure. Hours dragged on. Ethan could no longer tell if his trembling hands were the product of adrenaline or exhaustion or something darker. His mind fractured under the weight of silent screams and disembodied cries. The war was not out there. It was here, in his isolation, in the shadows of blinking consoles and haunting images replayed relentlessly. Combat without a battlefield left scars unseen by medals or ceremonies. The climax shattered his own defenses. A sudden remote strike he authorized, meant to eliminate insurgents, instead struck a vehicle filled with civilians. Reports filtered in hours later, families torn apart, grief pouring into distant homes. Ethan was left with the unshakable truth. Despite the distance, despite the technology, human lives were lost because of decisions made in this very room. This was the reality that rarely reached public consciousness, the contradictions of modern warfare where operators like Ethan were caught between duty and conscience, humanity and machinery. Their battles raged not just in far-flung deserts but in the labyrinth of their minds. The twisted irony, their war was fought in silence, yet deafening in its mental devastation. Years later, Ethan would walk away from the military, scarred not by combat wounds, but by invisible injuries that haunted him relentlessly. Flashbacks, insomnia, and bouts of despair seeped into every waking moment. The supposed heroes of remote warfare became its forgotten casualties. Ethan Mark's story forces us to confront the terrifying truth we often ignore, that the heart of modern combat does not beat in trenches, but in shadowed rooms where the human cost is a haunting echo of every choice made behind a screen. How do you carry the guilt of lives taken miles away while never leaving your chair? This is the silent nightmare Ethan could never escape. What then remains of the soldier, when the war is fought not with weapons in hand, but with the weight of impossible choices? In a world hurtling ever faster toward remote and digital warfare, Ethan's burden is a warning. The scars of war extend far beyond the battlefield, etched deep into the psyche of those who command the silent skies. As you watch this story, ask yourself, what is the true cost of war we,